In the twilight of the Goryeo Dynasty, a realm steeped in intrigue and tumult, the air was thick with the scent of betrayal and the whispers of forbidden desire. In the heart of the royal palace, hidden behind elaborate silk screens and guarded by loyal servants, lay a story that would change the fate of a kingdom. Lady Soo-yeon was renowned for her ethereal beauty, her porcelain skin rivaling the finest of silks. She was a noblewoman of the highest class, a member of the royal court, and a cousin to the reigning King Taejo. Yet, her heart was a tempest of conflicting emotions, torn between duty to her family and her growing affection for the enigmatic warrior, General Min-ho. Min-ho was a man of honor and strength, his reputation forged in the fires of battle. He had fought valiantly to protect the empire from invading forces, his bravery earning him the admiration of the people and the disdain of those envious of his influence. The moment Lady Soo-yeon laid eyes on him during a royal banquet, as he stood tall in his armor, she felt a spark, a magnetic pull that defied the conventions of their world. As the night wore on, the palace wrapped itself in shadows, and the guests indulged in merriment. Soo-yeon found her way to the palace gardens, seeking solace among the fragrant blossoms. To her surprise, she was not alone. Min-ho, having slipped away from the festivities, stood beneath the cherry blossom trees, the moonlight casting a silver glow upon him. "Lady Soo-yeon," he said, his voice low and laced with desire. "What brings you to this secluded place?" She felt her heart race, the warmth of his presence enveloping her. "I sought a moment of peace. The court can be overwhelming." He stepped closer, their eyes locking in a moment that would alter their destinies. Peace is hard to find in a world filled with ambitions and treachery. Their breaths mingled in the cool night air, and before they knew it, the distance between them vanished. In that stolen moment, they kissed, a gentle brush of lips that ignited a fire within them both. But as the kiss deepened, reality crashed upon them like a wave. They were bound by duty and honor, and their love was a dangerous game that could shatter their lives. Days turned into weeks, and their clandestine meetings became the highlight of their existence. They would steal away to the gardens, sharing secrets and dreams, their passion blooming like the flowers surrounding them. But with each encounter came the weight of shame, for Soo-yeon was a lady of the court, and Min-ho, a mere soldier. The implications of their love were fraught with peril. Meanwhile, the court was abuzz with rumors. Whispers of betrayal echoed through the halls, and the king's advisors grew suspicious of Min-ho's frequent absences and Soo-yeon's distracted demeanor. Among them was Lady Hyun-ji, a woman of unparalleled ambition and the king's favored concubine. She had long harbored feelings for Min-ho and viewed Soo-yeon as a rival. Determined to protect her own interests, Hyun-ji devised a plan to expose the lovers. She had seen them together in the gardens, and her heart burned with jealousy. One fateful evening, she followed Soo-yeon, her heart racing with the thrill of impending betrayal. Hidden behind the latticework of the garden, she witnessed a moment that would seal their fates, a passionate embrace, their lips meeting in a fervent kiss. The next day, Hyun-ji wasted no time. She approached King Taejo, her eyes wide with feigned innocence. "Your Majesty, I have troubling news." She relayed the tale of the forbidden romance, painting a vivid picture of treachery and lust. The king, a man devoted to maintaining the sanctity of his court, was furious. He summoned Min-ho to the palace, intent on confronting him. As Min-ho entered the grand hall, he sensed the tension in the air. The king stood before him, eyes blazing with anger. "General Min-ho, is it true? Have you betrayed your loyalty to the crown?" Min-ho's heart sank. He could feel Soo-yeon's presence behind him, her eyes wide with fear. "Your Majesty, I have done no such thing. I am loyal to you and the empire." "Loyalty? Is that what you call it?" The king's voice boomed, echoing through the stone walls. You dare to defile my family with your lust for my cousin? Soo-yeon stepped forward, her voice trembling but resolute. Your Majesty, it was I who sought him. Our love is true, and I would not hide it from you. The king's gaze shifted to her, and in that moment, she saw the conflict within him. The weight of his duty clashed with the love he bore for his family. You will not defy me, Soo-yeon. I cannot allow this to continue. Desperation coursed through Min-ho. Your Majesty, please. I would never harm the kingdom. My love for her is pure, and I would fight to protect her. The king's face hardened. You will be stripped of your rank and banished from the palace. And you, Soo-yeon, will be sent to a remote estate until this matter is resolved. As the guard seized Min-ho, Soo-yeon felt her heart shatter. No. You cannot do this. She cried, her voice breaking. But her pleas fell on deaf ears, and soon, Min-ho was dragged away, leaving her alone in her despair. Days turned into weeks, and the palace felt empty without Min-ho's presence. Lady Hyunji reveled in her victory, but the cost of betrayal weighed heavily upon Soo-yeon. She was a prisoner in her own heart, longing for the man who had ignited a flame within her soul. Determined to reclaim her love, Soo-yeon devised a plan to escape. One moonlit night, she donned a cloak, disguising herself as a commoner, and slipped away from the estate. Her heart raced as she made her way to the edge of the forest, where she knew Min-ho had been exiled. As she approached the small cottage where he resided, she felt a surge of hope. She knocked softly, and moments later, Min-ho opened the door, his eyes widening in disbelief. Soo-yeon. They fell into each other's arms, the warmth of their love rekindled. I couldn't bear to be apart from you, she whispered, her voice trembling with emotion. I thought I'd lost you forever, he replied, his grip tightening around her. But their reunion was short-lived. Just as they began to formulate a plan to escape the kingdom together, the sound of galloping horses echoed through the night. The king's guards had found them. Run! Min-ho urged, pushing her away as he faced the approaching soldiers. I'll hold them off. You must get to safety. Tears streamed down Soo-yeon's face as she hesitated, torn between love and fear. I won't leave you. Go, he shouted, his voice filled with desperation. I will find you. I promise. With a heavy heart, Soo-yeon turned and fled into the darkness, her feet pounding against the earth as she raced for freedom. The sounds of clashing swords and shouts rang in her ears, but she pressed on, driven by a single thought: she would not let their love die in the shadows. Days turned into weeks, and the kingdom was thrown into chaos as the king sought to quell the whispers of scandal. But Soo-yeon refused to be a pawn in his game. She gathered allies among the people, those who believed in love and freedom. Together, they plotted to rescue Min-ho and bring down the corrupt monarchy. In a climactic confrontation, Soo-yeon led her newfound allies to the palace, where the king had summoned his forces. As they stormed the gates, she found herself face to face with Lady Hyunji, who stood defiantly at the king's side. You think you can take him from me? Hyunji spat, her eyes blazing with fury. He's not yours to claim, Soo-yeon replied, her voice steady. My heart belongs to Min-ho. With the battle raging around them, Soo-yeon fought with all her strength, driven by the love that had sparked a revolution. In the chaos, she managed to find Min-ho, their eyes locking in a moment of pure recognition. Together, he said, extending his hand. They fought side by side, their love fueling their resolve. As the dust settled and the last remnants of the king's loyalists fell, a new dawn emerged over the kingdom. In the aftermath, the people rallied around Min-ho and Soo-yeon, declaring them heroes of the realm. Together, they forged a new path for the Goryeo Empire, one built on love, loyalty, and the promise of a brighter future. As they stood hand in hand, Gazing out at the kingdom they had fought to protect, they knew that their loved ones shrouded in secrecy would now shine brightly for all to see, a testament to the power of love amidst the shadows of betrayal.